Let's talk a little bit about the RSV vaccine. I definitely talked about this in the progress report when the first RSV vaccine was developed. We have now had the first flu slash RSV slash general illness season with the vaccine in effect. And there's also a new treatment for RSV that came out recently as well. And there has been a pretty dramatic drop in baby hospitalizations in the US because of that, and also a small decline in infant mortality rate. But yeah, a lot fewer babies going to the hospital with RSV, which is amazing.
Guess we'll have to see how many people are going to keep getting the vaccines under the new regime at the Department of Health and
Mm.
Human Services, and headed by the vaccine skeptic in chief, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. Although he has been backtracking a lot on his. There was a congressional hearing, I think this week, where he said, no one should take medical advice from me, and it doesn't matter what I think. And I mean, there were actually interesting answers in that he was sort of saying there's a difference between what, he as an individual believes and what the policies of the federal government and or collective public policy is about healthcare. Nonetheless, it does. I mean, there's a lot of vaccine skepticism, and we do know that the amount of percentage of kids in school being vaccinated is going down. So we'll see if that continues in its merry way.
Yeah, I mean, it's such a fascinating question for me. I mean, I know like the stakes are high, so it's much more fun to pontificate about this than really like live it. But the question of like what happens when you put someone like RFK into the system is so fascinating, because you're right. Since he's been leading, he's had a number of like tweets, a couple of editorials that are like not exactly vaccine forward, but he's like, hey, the vaccine is your best option. I'm like, wow, who inside of his office wrote this tweet for him and made him press post? I'm fascinated. What happened? I would love the inside story, because this is not normal RFK. But clearly, like he's going to be interacting with a bunch of pro science people there, regardless of his own personal views.